Welcome to the ultimate reality TV clearance aisle, where love comes with no return policy and emotions are sold exactly as is. In the center of it all stands one of the most talked about figures in 90-Day Fiancé history, Big Ed, and the unforgettable romance that shook fans worldwide, Ed and Rose. This wasn't just another couple. This was a factory-fresh explosion of culture clash, awkward honesty, viral moments, and raw vulnerability. Their story felt less like a fairy tale and more like a clearance sale surprise, something you didn't plan to buy but couldn't stop staring at. Big Ed meets Rose. Love or clearance mistake? When Big Ed first appeared on 90-Day Fiancé, before the 90 days, viewers instantly knew something was different. Loud personality, big confidence, bigger opinions. And then there was Rose, soft-spoken, strong, and living a life worlds away from Ed's American comfort. At first, their online romance felt sweet. Video calls, promises, and dreams of a shared future. But once Ed landed in Rose's world, reality hit harder than expected. Every episode felt like opening a discounted mystery box. Awkward conversations, uncomfortable truths, cultural misunderstandings, emotional tension that refused to stay quiet. Fans were glued, not because it was perfect, but because it was unfiltered, messy, and painfully real. The question everyone asked, what's wrong with Big Ed's neck? As Ed became a viral sensation, one question flooded social media. What is Big Ed's neck issue? Ed was open about it. He was born with a rare condition called Klippel-Feil syndrome, a condition where bones in the neck fuse together before birth. This causes the neck to appear shorter and limits movement. But here's what many people didn't realize. This condition is not cosmetic. It's not something he caused, and it's not something he can change. Ed grew up being stared at, bullied, and judged, long before cameras ever followed him. Yet instead of hiding, he stepped straight into the spotlight, knowing exactly how cruel the internet can be. That alone takes courage. From jokes to judgment, the price of fame. As Ed's popularity grew, so did the memes, nicknames, comments, laughs that crossed the line. His appearance became a punchline, and suddenly the show wasn't just entertainment. It became a mirror reflecting how quickly people forget empathy. But Ed didn't disappear. He spoke up. He owned his story. He refused to be silent. Behind the loud humor and confident attitude was a man who had survived years of insecurity and who chose visibility over shame. Love, control, and the breaking point. Ed and Rose's relationship quickly cracked under pressure. What started as romance turned into discomfort. Conversations became confrontations, trust faded, and Rose, strong, proud, and emotionally aware, reached her limit. Her decision to walk away wasn't dramatic, it was empowering. She chose herself. She chose dignity. She chose freedom. For many fans, Rose became a symbol of quiet strength, proof that love should never require humiliation or control. Why their story still matters. Years later, Ed and Rose remain unforgettable. Not because they stayed together, but because they sparked conversations that reality TV rarely dares to touch. Body image, power imbalance, cultural respect, self-worth, accountability. Big Ed's neck condition reminded viewers that physical differences do not define value. Rose's exit reminded viewers that self-respect is non-negotiable. That combination, explosive. Reality TV isn't clearance, it's human. If 90-Day Fiancé were truly a factory sale, Ed and Rose wouldn't be cheap items tossed on a shelf. They'd be complicated, fragile human stories, some cracked, some misunderstood, all real. Yes, the show thrives on drama. Yes, it exaggerates conflict. But behind every episode is a reminder. These are real people with real feelings. Big Ed is more than his neck. Rose is more than a heartbreak, and their story is more than entertainment. Final thought. In the end, 90 Day Fiancé doesn't sell perfection. It sells reality. And reality is messy, emotional, uncomfortable, and sometimes painfully honest. Ed's condition didn't stop him from being confident. Rose's pain didn't stop her from being strong. And their story didn't end in love, but it did leave a lasting impact. Because some stories aren't meant to be kept forever. Some are meant to teach, challenge, and change us. And those are never clearance items. What many viewers didn't realize while laughing, judging, or reacting online was that Big Ed's confidence wasn't arrogance, it was armor. Growing up with a visible physical difference shapes how a person survives the world. Every stare, every whisper, every joke leaves a mark. For Ed, humor became his shield. Loudness became his defense. Confidence became survival. Reality TV magnified that survival mechanism. Cameras didn't just follow Ed, they exposed him. And with exposure came instant judgment. Millions of people felt entitled to comment on his body, his voice, his personality. Very few stopped to consider how exhausting it must be to live life constantly explaining your own existence. Yet Ed stood firm. He laughed when others mocked. He leaned into his identity instead of shrinking away. That choice alone made him unforgettable. Rose's silent power. While Ed's personality dominated the screen, Rose's strength lived in the quiet moments. Her reactions weren't explosive, they were measured. Her pain wasn't loud, it was restrained, and that restraint spoke volumes. Rose entered the relationship hopeful, not naive. She believed in love, but she also believed in dignity. As the relationship progressed, she recognized the imbalance, emotional, cultural, and personal. She saw how expectations were placed on her without respect for her voice. And when the final line was crossed, she didn't scream. She didn't beg. She simply walked away. That moment resonated deeply with viewers around the world. It wasn't just a breakup, it was a declaration. Love should never cost your self-respect. Why their story still goes viral. Years later, Ed and Rose clips continue to trend. Why? Because their story wasn't scripted perfection. It was raw discomfort. It forced viewers to confront uncomfortable truths about relationships, privilege, appearance, and control. It exposed how easily audiences cheer for confidence but punish vulnerability. Their scenes weren't memorable because they were romantic. They were memorable because they were real. In a world obsessed with flawless couples and filtered love stories, Ed and Rose were imperfect, and that imperfection made them human. The factory never stops rolling. The 90 Day Fiancé universe keeps producing new couples, new scandals, new viral moments. But few stories leave a permanent mark. Ed and Rose did because they represented two opposite truths existing at once. A man refusing to be defined by his body. A woman refusing to be defined by someone else's expectations. That contrast created tension and meaning. Final reflection. Not every relationship is meant to last. Not every love story is meant to succeed. Some exist to teach lessons, spark conversations, and remind us that empathy matters more than entertainment. Big Ed's journey shows that confidence can grow from pain. Rose's journey shows that strength can exist without noise. And together, their story proves that reality TV isn't just drama. It's a reflection of how we see others and ourselves. In the end, this wasn't a clearance love story. It was a human one, flawed, unforgettable, and impossible to ignore.